rolling updates. Jeez, it's hot. Okay, so this video we're going to be looking at rolling updates, and basically what we're going to do is going to take one version of Nginx deployment and move it into a new version of an Nginx deployment. We'll stick a tiny itty bitty little website on there so that we can see that it's changed. We'll also go through the process of how to look at history, rolling back, pausing, getting the status of a upgrade and things like that. So yeah, I think we may have covered this very slightly in a previous video. I can't remember, but I figured I'd just do a proper video on it just to make sure. If I am repeating myself, sorry, I've just come back from holiday. Sort of the last video was when I came back from holiday, but I'd already recorded that before I went on holiday. It's been a fun week anyway. I've had to reinstall my PC, which means I've lost all my presets for DaVinci Resolve. So all my sound editing for the mic and all my video bits, and it's been fun. But I'm not going to let that knock me. Let's get into it. Okay, so to do this, I was originally going to create my own little application, but time restraints and other factors have meant that I won't be doing that. Plus, to be honest, it means that you don't have to, and everyone's probably happy, I think. So we're just going to go through the process of upgrading Nginx, as I say, and I'm going to pick an old version to start. Now, I'll just quickly run you through what I've got here. This is pretty much a copy and paste of the volumes one. I've taken the config map in the deployment and just created a few little changes. So let's have a look at those. First thing first, I've removed the config because I don't actually need the config. It already defaults in Nginx to, I think, user share Nginx HTML, this one here. That's the default route, if you like, for the first website that gets deployed. So I'm just going to dump some index.html files in there. Okay, so that's what I've done. I've removed that config reference. Let me just show what I'm talking about, actually. If I go back to the original one, you can see here, I had a little config map that mapped into this location. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't need to, okay? What I've actually done is mapped an index.html into this location instead. And that just basically puts a really basic website in that location, okay? And let's have a look at the config map. Here it is. I've got one for pre and one for post. The reason I've done that is because I want to show you what the pre-upgrade website is and then the post-upgrade website. And the difference is 1122. That's it, okay? So it's a config map with that. The deployment maps that into this location. And that is it. That's the only change I've made. I've also added a service down here, which allows us to have a node port on port 80, which obviously then gets a node port. And we will query that node port to prove the website's up. And then when we do the rolling upgrade, we'll see it flip over to the new one. Okay, so let's take a look at this. I'm actually going to change this to, yeah, we'll go for 5. Okay. And that's basically it. I've got nothing else going on. I'll just close all these just to stop any potential confusion. So I've just got those two files, the config map and the deployment. We will be creating a deployment post for the post website in a few minutes, but we're only going to need to copy and paste this and change a couple of bits, okay? So let's just add these rolling upgrade bits. So rolling upgrades, there's a couple of types. There's recreate, which will just kill the pods, all of them, and then new ones will be created. Okay, that's it. So to do that, we do strategy. So inside the spec section, we just type strategy, and then we do rolling update, or we would do type equals recreate. Okay, so we've got this recreate option here. We're not going to be doing that because, like I say, it just kills everything and brings new pods in. There's a few cases where you might want to do this, but on the whole, you probably won't, because if you do, you're wiping out all your pods in your network. Well, not your network, but your traffic will stop for a short time going to that particular pod. So if you've got a website running needs to be up all the time, this is not the one for you. The other one is rolling update. To do rolling update, we can also configure that a bit by typing rolling update in the strategy, and we can have a max unavailable or a max surge. Okay, I'll just type max and you'll see those two. Max unavailable is a field that specifies the maximum number of pods that can be unavailable during the update process. So you just type a number here. For example, if you've got 10 pods, you could say I want 5 maximum unavailable. So it'd upgrade 5 and then do the rest of them as they come in one by one. Okay, you can do percentages as well. And yeah, so for example, if you set this to 30%, or like I say 5 in that case, then the old replica set would be scaled down to 70% of the desired pods immediately when the rolling update starts. Okay, so you would drop down that much. Max surge is a field that specifies the number of pods that can be created over the desired number of pods. So if you have, again, 10, for example, and you say, I want the max surge to be 5, it will go up to a maximum of 15 and bring those new 5 pods in. And then again, it will just upgrade the rest of them in kind of situ. Another way of looking at it is if you say the value is 30%, then it would scale up to 130%, but it wouldn't exceed 130% of the desired pods. That's basically it. Okay, there's other stuff that you can define as part of the upgrades. You can have minimum ready seconds, progress deadline seconds, things like that, but I'm not going to get into them right now. Something else you can do is revision history limit. I will set one of those and I'll quickly explain it as well. And that is it, really. There's things like spec.paused and things like that you can do, but again, there's rarities that you would use that, so have a look at the docs. I'll drop them in the description as always, and you can have a little read through them yourself. So we're going to go with max unavailable. I have 5 replicas. I want the max unavailable to be 2. That's where I'm going to leave that. And the other thing, as I say, that I was going to do was the revision history limit. So if I drop here, I can do the spec.revision history limit. So I'll just do that here. And this could be a number, say you want up to 10 replica sets being held. If you set it to 0, it means that all replica sets will be cleaned up straight away. If you don't set it, I think it's about 10 actually. I'm pretty sure it's about 10 that will be kept. Again, the defaults will be defined in the documents, but I'm only going to say I want 3. Okay, because in fact, I'm going to say 2. Let's just go with 2 because I'll do an upgrade to 1.24 of Nginx and then we'll do an upgrade to 1.25. Okay, and we'll see that there. And that's basically it. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do with this. I've got everything else that I need. I'm just going to now make a copy of this and we'll do post and we'll change this to 1.24. And then just for the sake of it, we'll do post again. So I'll just do post hyphen again. And we'll do that to 1.25. Now, in reality, you would have this in GitHub or something like that, where it'd upgrade and then your CI/CD would roll it out and it would automatically roll this out on top. You wouldn't realistically create a new one for each one. You just upgrade it in place. So you could do something like patch the image or something like that. I think you can actually do set image instead of patching the image, but you do set image, the name of the deployment, and then the image that you want to use, and this would work in the same way. Okay, so we're just changing the image. That's literally all we're changing here. Okay, but I just wanted to show you this one here. But I guess just for brevity, we would do something like kubectl set image of in namespace learning deploy hyphen nginx /nginx, sorry, and then you just do something like just the image. I think is the container name, if I remember rightly. So nginx equals nginx 1.25. Okay. So that'd say set this container of that name to this image of that image. Okay, that's basically what you would do. Now, again, you wouldn't realistically do this in the real world, if you like. This is a break glass scenario where you'd quickly need to fix something maybe, but in reality, you would actually end up upgrading your deployment in place and the YAML. That would get uploaded somewhere like GitHub or GitLab or whatever version control you use. And then your CI/CD would come along and do that. Maybe using Argo or Flux or something like that to do that for you. Okay, so just for the sake of knowing, this is one of the commands you can use, but we won't be using that. Okay, let's go ahead and do kubectl apply F, and we will do 18 CM. We'll get the config map rolled out first, and then we'll go ahead and do the deployment pre. Okay, so we'll roll those 2 out. So that will roll out the config map and the deployment. So we'll do kubectl get pod namespace learning, and you know what, we'll just get the service at the same time as well so that we can grab the node port. Okay, so there we have it. There's the pods, there's the service with a node port that's not been created. Did I not set that to node port? Let me just quickly check. There's a good chance I've just forgotten to do that as node port, and I did. Okay, so let me just quickly set the type and we'll do that to node port. I'm going to have to quickly go through these now and do it there. In fact, I'm just going to remove these. I don't need to do these because I'm only upgrading the deployment anyway, so they're not relevant. We'll remove them. Okay, so now that I've fixed that little problem, let's quickly do that. This will become a node port. Let's just clear the screen. There we go. Okay, so now I should just be able to take that and do curl HTTP, one of the node IPs. I know for a fact that it's 192.168.0.211. I say I know for a fact. I like to pretend I know for a fact, but we'll find out in a second. Okay, so we've got welcome to site 1. This is website 1. Now I could shrink this down a little bit more and just have it print okay or something. In fact, yeah, do you know what? Let's quickly do that as well, because that would make it a little bit nicer, wouldn't it? So we'll just do site 1, okay? That's all I'm going to print out. So I'm just going to get rid of all this. I don't need the HTML really, and then I can do site 2, because it will be easier to spot when this actually changes, okay? Sorry, I should have thought about this beforehand, but it's a quick change. There we go. So now if we do this, we should see in a moment it switches over. Config map should get reloaded, but just for the sake of it, let's learn our first command. So kubectl rollout restart will restart the deployment, and the deployment is called nginx in the namespace learning. Okay, Now I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do status. Now we can see here, waiting for the deployment nginx rollout to finish, 4 of 5 updated replicas are available. Deployment nginx successfully rolled out. So it happened that quick because all the images are on the machines and it just quickly restarted everything. So that's it. We'll see all of these have restarted. So we can restart a deployment. We can also use the rollout command to get the status of a deployment. We can also use the rollout command to pause a deployment while it's rolling out, which I'm going to show you in the next step. But let me just quickly run this now. Here we go, site 1. So now we're going to do while, let's have a look, while true. And we'll do curl, and then we'll do sleep, 0.5, and done. So we'll do that. And what have I forgotten? I've forgotten something. While true do. There we go. That's the one. So we'll do that. That will curl it every few seconds. And what we're going to do now is line up that pause command. And finally, we're just going to go ahead and roll out the next one. So you see how easy that was? We've just rolled everything out and we've got the status. We did the rollout restart. And now we're just going to do the post. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to quickly jump back over here and click pause. And then we'll take a look at what's going on here. Okay. And go. Pause. Let's get the status. So already we can see what's going on. And I'm actually going to get rid of this and watch. And we can see here we've got 2 new ones. And yeah, okay. So let's go ahead and that's just waiting. So it's just going to continue waiting until I continue the rollout. So obviously I've paused it. So the other option is to continue it, I guess, you know, so we just have to unpause it or resume it. So do kubectl, rollout, resume, deploy, nginx, namespace learning, and we'll do that. And I'll spell resume right first. So, okay, we'll do that. And now we should be able to see here, it carries on. And if we jump over here now, we should see these starting to switch to site 2, if I did this correctly, which I think I actually left post on site 1. I did, but it's okay because we're going to go to site 2. So I will do that to post. I'm not doing very well on this tutorial, but again, this was more showing you, I guess, the rollout status and resume and pause. Okay, so that's successfully rolled out. That's gone now. Okay, so we saw that happen. Great. Now let's go ahead and switch to the new one. So that wasn't a great example, but that was an example of how we can update the image without rolling out a new application. Okay, that's what I was trying to do, honestly. Okay, so next one, we're still doing site 1 because, you know, we just upgraded the image. Now we're going to go to site 2, and we're also going to roll out an update to the image again to 1.25. So if I jump back over here, in post, we went to 1.24. This time we're going to go to 1.25. So I'll do the same again. I will do post again. And with that, we will roll that out. I'll jump back over here and do a pause straight away. So do kubectl rollout, pause, deploy, /nginx. And that's in the namespace learning. Okay, so let's just check that. Yeah, okay, so that will be fine. We've still got site 1 going and we've got these running. So I'll just do a few enters there so we can see the change. And let me just line that up ready. Go. Okay, so straight away, what happened? We had a couple of new pods starting to come in. We'll see, we're still on site 1 because they've not come up yet. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just check the status of it. So status, we've got 4 or 5 new replicas have been updated. Let's check. Yep, we can see some site 2s coming through now, look. Okay, so it won't roll out any new pods yet. If I actually just go ahead and restart that watch, we can see here we've got, what, 4 new pods there? But we've got 3 still sat on the old one, okay? So now we're kind of getting a mix of traffic through. We're getting some 1s, some 2s. That's because we've paused it. If I go ahead and just resume that again, that will finish up. Okay, so we'll do resume and bam, there we go. Everything's gone on to 2 now. The last few pods have just finished. You can see here. And now everything's running on site 2. Great. Uh-oh, customer just came forth and said, yeah, so we're actually having some problems with site 2. X, Y, and Z isn't working for us. How can we go ahead and fix this problem? So we as engineers come along and we say, right, okay, let's have a quick look at this, blah, blah, blah. We're looking at some logs and, oh no, we've done something silly in site 2. We need to roll back to site 1. So what do? Do we just go back and apply this? Well, I mean, yeah, technically we could, but then in the real world, again, you would have a commit that goes into GitHub, pull request has to be approved, people have to review it, everything has to go through properly. You know, we have to make sure it matches what was there originally. That's a nightmare. Or some Kubernetes engineers can come along and do, well, that's all right, let's just do this, roll out history. Oh, look at that. See where that revision history is coming in now? Okay, and we're just going to get the history using the rollout command again of the deployment nginx. And bam, there it is. You can set change clauses. I'm not going to get into that right now. But yeah, we've got revision 2, revision 3, and revision 4. Cool. So revision 4 is what we're on now. Okay, So maybe we can just roll back to revision 3, because that was site 1 and the previous version of Nginx, and no one complained about that, okay? So let's go ahead and do that, right? So we'll just do undo. We can just run undo, and if we run undo, it just reverts to the previous deployment, okay? So that will just go back to that one. We can also do a revision flag, okay? So if we do revision on the end, then we can specify, if I just do like -help on here, we can see, let me just find it, to revision, there we go. So we can say I want to go to a specific revision, but in our case, we already know that we don't need to go to a specific revision. We just want to go to the previous one, okay? If you needed to go back to number 2, we'd use that -to -revision. We don't need to do that, okay? Again, just for the sake of making sure you understand, that's what we'd do. Because we don't need to do that, we just need to go back to version 3. We're going to run that, okay? So I'm going to do that, and we'll see site 1 starting to appear here again, okay? So let's take a look. That's being rolled back, and we should start to see now that things are being terminated. It's going back to the previous replica set, okay? So we'll just give that a moment, and we should see things starting to come back, okay? Let me just confirm. There we go. Site 1's just come through there. I think my while loop's just gone a bit squiffy. There we go. Okay, so site 1's starting to run. Brilliant. Okay, so we're back on site 1. We're back on the previous version. And you might be sat now going, that's all good. Brilliant. What the heck is going on here? How does it know? So first thing, we rolled back to revision 3, but 3's now gone and we have revision 5. What's going on there? It's just an incremental number, okay? It's just to make sure that you've always got a kind of history going. And you'll also notice that we've not got more revisions going. We set that revision history to 2, so we've got the current one and the 2 previous ones, okay? But how is this working? Let's go and take a look at the replica sets, okay? And this will explain everything. So we're going to do kubectl, get replica set in the namespace learning. And if you look here, we have the previous replica sets. These are the ones, okay? So if I want us to roll back to number 2, then all it'd do is actually scale down this replica set and scale up the replica set, which was number 2, which based on the age, I presume is this one. Don't believe me? Well, I mean, I'm hoping you do, but just in case, let's prove that back to say to revision, and we're going to go to revision number 2. Now let's take a look at replica set learning. Ah, there it is. Look, there we go. That's gone up to 5, ready for, and the other ones have scaled down. Again, it's not deleted these. It's just scaled them down. That's all. Okay, that's it. That's everything I need to show you about rolling updates, because that is everything you need to know about rolling updates for now. Now, I'm going to go into more details about updates later, but it's more to do with when you drain nodes, and that's where pod disruption budgets come in, and they kind of help protect nodes from just killing pods when they're being drained. So we'll talk about that in another video later on. But in the next video, we're going to talk about taints, tolerations, and node selectors. So I'll see you over there.